Hello, everyone. My name is Julie McVey, and this is Unordinary Made Ordinary, where we talk about extraordinary experiences of everyday people. And today we're talking with Ginger Lockwood. Welcome,
Hi
Ginger.
there. I'm so honored to be on here and thank you for having me as a guest.
I am so glad you're here. I'm really excited about some of the subject matter we'll be talking about because I don't really know a lot about some of this. But if you wouldn't mind, Ginger, could you share a little bit about who you are, a little background into your life?
Sure. I'm married and I live in Georgia. And I think I have got to know you because of friends in the psychic community and spiritual community. Um, I came from kind of a psychic family. My father was a psychic and started teaching me when I was young.
Hmm.
And then I got older and I kind of, didn't mess with it anymore. Although when you're psychic, it keeps coming up anyhow. You don't really have a choice. So I could never forget about it. But then I had these beings show up in my yard that I didn't know about before. And they were psychic. And so it made me remember myself again. And I got back in the psychic world. And actually, one of my psychic teachers you interviewed last week, Lillian.
Oh gosh, I love her.
Isn't that funny that you interviewed my teacher the week before?
Yes, synchronicities, all of those coincidences.
Uh-huh. So I let you know about that. So how
That's
about
so cool.
that? So that's how I, got to know you now. I'm just starting to get to know you. And so it's quite a cool story.
Yes. So I'm curious. You said so you didn't grow up religious, it sounds like. But
Well, actually, my mom was religious. My father was not. And
okay.
so it was divided in my family. I had both. And I
Oh,
did do both. So I went, I did church and I wanted to know what that was about
okay.
and all of that. So, which is great because I can work with people with any beliefs.
That
My father was a pagan or atheist, he said at times. So, and
oh.
my mom is a Christian and still goes to church. So,
What an interesting combination. That's fascinating.
yeah.
Okay, so kind of cool that you were exposed to all of it and
Mhm,
ended up being sort of open to
mhm.
all. Now, okay, what was your first, if I may ask, I want to get back to those, you said beings in your yard, but
Yeah.
so that threw me off. But what was
Sorry.
your first like spiritual, supernatural kind of experience?
When I was real young, I was extremely psychic. And I would just know things before it happened and blurt it out because you're a kid, you don't
Oh,
have any control of your mind. And it would always happen. Like I remember when I was 6, my mom picked me and one of my friends up from school, and I was sitting in the back seat, and I was so short I couldn't see through the window or anything. I mean, except high up above, I couldn't see down below. And I just blurted out, "We're gonna run over a nail, get a flat tire," and instantly, poof, we get, it was like
oh,
that constantly,
oh my
constantly. And
wow.
so it was obvious that I was psychic.
Yeah,
And
I guess.
and like I'd
Yeah.
be traveling with my aunt and uncle and their cousins. We're gonna run out of gas on the bridge. And sure enough, we were, and it was just like that all the time. And I'd be freaking out my friends because I remember I would just turn down a street and they were like, "Why did you turn down that?" And then our phone would ring and it was somebody inviting us over, and I would have to turn that way to go there. It's just so I couldn't ever hide it. It was just
Yeah,
always
part of who you
there.
are.
Yeah. Yeah. Since
What
I was
about your
young.
siblings? Did they have any of this kind of
My
stuff?
brother, I don't know everything he did. It's like my dad worked with us individually. My dad was very psychic. And I know my brother is a big time lucid dreamer though, and has made a lot of money off it.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, he invents things in his dreams and then he wakes up
Oh,
and he writes it down and gets patents on them.
I've heard of that before. That's amazing.
Yeah, in fact, he owns a big company now, became multimillionaire from lucid dreaming.
Oh my goodness. That's super cool. Yeah,
So I don't know what
yeah.
else he can do, but I do know he's a lucid dreamer.
And out of
Yeah.
curiosity, so your gift, obviously a psychic gift, would that be clairvoyance?
Well, what I just told you was just a mixture of clairvoyance and claircognizance because there's clear knowing. I knew
Okay.
what was going
Oh,
to
right.
happen right
Gotcha.
before it happened. Yeah. And then my daddy could move objects with his mind without touching them.
Ooh,
He could do telekinesis.
telekinesis. Ooh,
Uh-huh.
okay.
And one time when I was around 9 years old, I was watching a movie about witches, and just a little kid, and he walked in the family room. It was just me in there, and he said, "Ginger, I want to show you something." And he put a pencil down on the table, and he said, "I've been practicing 3 years to move objects with my mind." He was a NASA engineer, real high up at NASA,
Mm,
and and but he believed in all that. He believed in it as science, and he taught me it as science. He didn't teach me it as magic,
hmm.
you know. And
Yep.
and so he showed me how he did it, and he asked me to try, and I did it on the first try. And I think it's because I had so much faith in my father,
Hmm.
you know,
Hmm.
and so that made it work. And he goes, "I knew you could do it." And so I was, for years then, I was trying to move objects with my mind. And then I got into the more religious area, and I started, people started telling me that these were bad things that were allowing me to do that. And I stopped.
Right.
And
Oh, right. Oh no. Yeah.
so this is my story though, and so and then um things just kept coming up though. I mean, psychic things just kept coming up all your life. You can't turn it off. But so now it's harder for me to move objects. Back then I could do it
Mm,
every single time. Now I have to
mm.
really try. Every now and then I get lucky. But so yeah.
Now, I don't want to throw this conversation off and see this happens, but you're holding your phone. If there's a place for you to put it down and record, but if not, don't worry
I'll go
about it.
pop it up. Hold on 1 minute.
I just didn't realize. See, I realize these things afterwards sometimes,
That's okay.
but
We'll take care of it.
I think that, and I can also probably edit the little piece out actually. Because sometimes when we're holding our phone, it kind of shakes a little bit, you know?
I know what you mean, especially when I get excited talking about things. So,
Oh, me too.
okay. How's that?
That's much better. Cool. And I think I have enough experience now where I can edit that little piece out. I'll do my best.
I don't mind you leave it there. I'm sure it'll be funny for people to laugh at, and entertainment is good.
You know, I have heard of kids always like, oh yeah, when I was little, I tried to move objects, you know.
Uh-huh.
That's one of the
Yeah, because you have a
most
lot of faith and belief, so it's easier. You don't doubt so easily.
I yes, absolutely. Um, okay, so that's really cool that you had all of these. You had so much positivity and encouragement and motivation that
Mhm.
most of us probably did not have, especially if you have also a religious side of your family. But the church said, okay, no, no, no more. And then when
Right.
did you start picking up on it again and using it again?
Um, I started using it again when I had Bigfoot show up in my yard.
Oh, wait, are these so these are the beings that
That I
were
was talking
psychic?
about.
Oh
Yes.
my word.
Yes.
Okay, so when was that? How long ago was that?
It was about approximately 6 years ago, 6.5. I actually didn't believe in them because you would think out of seeing all the things I've seen, I believe in everything, but I don't. I'm one of those people that likes to experience it
Sure.
to believe, and my husband believed in him. He was watching Bigfoot shows all the time, and I broke my leg one time all the way through, and I was up around 2:30 in the morning worrying about how I was going to function the next day because my husband needed to go to work. And all of a sudden, I heard this really loud howling in my backyard. and I was afraid it was going to wake up my husband. So I got on my crutches and I turned on the porch light, trying to scare away whatever it was, and banged around real loud on my crutches and went out on the porch, and it didn't stop. It just kept howling, and it was so loud it sounded like it was through a megaphone. And it didn't care at all that I was there. And then they just kept coming back for about 2 years. And I started interacting with them and sitting out in the woods with them at night alone. So they would, to earn their trust.
I was going
And
to
that's
say,
what
do you live in a woodsy area?
it's a woodsy area. However, I live in the middle of a subdivision, but we have a strip of woods in our backyard. They clear cut everybody's front yard. Evidently, this used to be a forest, and there's forest around here.
Okay.
And everybody was left with a strip of woods in their backyard. So the Bigfoot were moving through the strip of woods, you know.
Okay, so I don't even know where to begin. So so did your husband and kids know, your family know about these visitations?
It's my husband and I here. And yes, my husband knew. He was going back in the woods with me many nights. And
this is wild. Okay. So this is about 6 years ago. And like, how often would they show up?
Well, it wasn't every single night, you know. I couldn't tell for sure. It seems like full moons, they didn't show up much. And it made sense because I was in the middle of a subdivision, and on a bright night, a lot of people would have seen them.
Yes.
You know, so I don't know where they went on full moons, but there was the neighbor 2 doors down. I do believe they saw the Bigfoot too, because they built a pit bull fence right up against the wood line. And they would come out with this huge infrared light at night. And I don't see why else they would use an infrared light. But we got protective over them. So we weren't telling anyone.
Okay, I was going to ask you, you guys didn't ask your neighbors or anything? Did you hear that howling even in the beginning?
Didn't know how, if people would try to shoot them or whatever. And I just didn't feel like, you know, I didn't want to put them in any danger.
Of course.
And I wanted them to trust me so I could get to know them because they intrigued me. I guess my Leo self came out. I was very curious.
But you didn't feel, did you bring guns with you in the beginning?
Oh, no, I never, ever have brought a gun because I don't want them to not trust me.
Ooh, but you weren't fearful for some reason in the beginning. I mean, there was no reason for you to trust them either in the beginning.
Right. There wasn't any reason to, but I didn't have any reason not to trust them either. And I feel like the energy I put out is what I will get back.
Wow, I feel like that's brave. I would be scared.
It was, but I am a Leo, so I have curiosity and courage.
Well, I'm a Virgo. I don't know. I think maybe I'm just more practical in like, well.
My best friend growing up was a Virgo. I love Virgos.
Yeah. Yay. No. Okay, so all right, so you hear this howling, and then when did you, on a regular basis, every few nights or something, and then you decide, I'm gonna go see what this is?
Well, one way we knew they were coming is they would bang on the pit bull fence and shut the dog up. It would scare the dog and he would shut up as they were passing by.
Okay.
So that's one way we knew they were coming into our yard, you know, because that was 2 doors down and they had to pass by that to come in. So that's one way we knew they were here. They make really loud bipedal walking at times. So that's another way we would know they were in the yard. But it wasn't like a regular basis where we could tell you they will be here tomorrow night. You know, it was just whenever they wanted to come. So, however, we did tell some people. We had a friend come over who was a medium, and we had like a seance in the backyard. My husband did with her because he thought that may attract the Bigfoot, and he hadn't had a sighting yet. I had a sighting, but he hadn't.
Oh, okay.
Now, he had heard them, you know, because they were talking out loud to us and stuff, and he heard all that kind of stuff, but he hadn't seen one. So I was sitting in our backyard too, on the other side of the woods, and I was begging the Bigfoot to please let them see him. It was completely dark outside, and we didn't use a flashlight because it seemed like it kept the Bigfoot away. However, the Bigfoot make this bright eye shine come out of their eyes. It's like they have their own flashlights. So, so that's how you can see them. And it changes colors depending on the mood.
Okay, I
Mhm.
know. This is all new to me. Um,
It's called eye shine. That's what people call it, or eye glow. But it
eye
doesn't
glow.
really glow, it shines out. So, and you know how you can shine a light on an animal and it will make the eyes glow a different color?
Yes, yes,
It's
yes.
like that, but without shining a light on them. They shine their own light and make it come out.
Oh, okay. I still want to go back a little bit because I'm just fascinated by your bravery. So you start to venture out when they're out, and are you using telepathy or something? How are you
I
trying
did
to,
use telepathy with them a lot. Yes, because
you're trying to communicate? When did they first communicate back to you? Or what was
well,
that like?
the first was all physical vocals. The howling was first, and
Okay.
then the second thing I heard was one talking to me. I would come out and sit on my porch,
Hmm.
and right before dark, and I would hear one in the woods that sounded young, and it would say
Oh,
stuff like ooh 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 and sound like an ape or a monkey.
okay.
So first I thought maybe it was some form of monkey or ape, you know.
Okay.
And so I took the Jane Goodall approach
Hmm.
and just showed him a lot of respect, try to get to know him and all that.
Okay.
And then as I got to know him more, I realized they were psychic. And
Okay.
because I started
Interesting.
I would talk to them, and I just told them I would tell them about my day just to get to know them. And
Mm,
and um, it already on the Bigfoot shows, lots of people had already said they were psychics. So I guess my husband was giving me information every now and then. So I guess I was open to maybe they were.
I
And I
see.
noticed that I would get these telepathic thoughts. Like I was talking to them about everyday things, like say a friend was bothering me and I didn't know what to do about it. They would just give me a way of like working with the person that I would have never thought of before. And it was
Wow.
always good, you know, it was always good. And it was never anything negative, but it would be something completely different that I had never thought of before. It's like they became counselors for me. And
Wow.
so I would just go sit in the woods every night. And I didn't know for sure if they were out in the woods every night with me. And I would just talk to them and, get telepathic communications. But this one night, I was sitting out there doing that, and my husband came outside and turned on the screen porch light and said, "Honey, are you out there in the woods?" And because I went out there often and did that at night. And when he turned on the porch light, a Bigfoot walked out right in front of me. And so it'd been right on the by the tree next to me. So that was kind of my confirmation they were there listening to me. And the only reason I could see it is because it walked right in front of the porch light,
Hmm.
between my husband and me. And when it did, I could see through the Bigfoot, and I could see my husband and the house through the Bigfoot. It was see through.
Oh,
Yeah. And so
okay.
it wasn't in a complete physical form at that moment. Now, my first
Oh,
sighting, they were physical. Um, so I'd heard they could cloak before, so I guess that's what I saw was a cloaked Bigfoot. It looked like a walking shadow,
hmm.
but I could see the entire body. I knew it wasn't just a person spirit because it had the long big foot arms and the big feet and the long fingers and all
Yeah, I
that.
was going to ask you, what do they look like? Is the images we see like on TV or something, those are correct?
Yes, but the Bigfoot can look different. They don't all exactly look the same. That's the only thing that people get wrong is they expect them to all look like maybe Patty in the Bob Gimlin film. And that is a real film. I met Bob Gimlin, but and then they've tried everybody, movie producers and everything have tried to replicate it, and they
Hmm.
can't. But they don't all look the same. For instance, the ones I saw here were about half the size. They
Which
were real
is
skinny.
how
So
tall or would that be?
um, the first two I walked up to in my backyard, one was exact same height as me, it looked like, which is 5'2". And
Mm,
there was one standing directly behind it, and it was about a head taller, so I'd say about 6'2".
mm.
Now, I'm sure there's real big, huge ones here too. It's like us, they come in different sizes and shapes, also in colors.
Oh, okay. And what kinds of colors?
They can come in brownish red, black, gray, white.
Oh, white. Mm.
Hmm.
Now, so I again, I know nothing about Bigfoot, and you say you don't, so Bigfoot is also plural, I guess. You said the Bigfoot. How do you,
Well, yeah, I did have more than one in our yard. Yes. Yes.
I was just wondering how you say the term, like what, how do they,
Oh,
why do
gotcha.
they, yeah, I don't
I
know.
started calling them biggies because that is a problem. Yeah, I was wondering too how to call them plural form. And plus they were in my backyard and I needed to not be afraid. So I was giving them names that made them sound cute and gentle to me to help me. Because
Okay,
yes, I did have courage, but yes, I also had to fight fear just to make, you know,
man. Did they
I
give you
wasn't
their names ever?
I wasn't void of fear. I did have to fight that. Um, no, I didn't get their names.
No,
I did
okay,
ask them, but they never gave them to me. So I gave them names.
gotcha. Okay, yeah, so do you know where they are from? Are they from another planet? Are they interdimensional? Can you give me more
Well,
information?
yes, I do know they're interdimensional because I saw that with my own eyes. The one that walked in front of me was see through. So right there, that tells you it's partly in another dimension,
Okay.
you know? And I didn't tell you what happened after that.
Oh,
After
okay.
when it walked in front of me, it went over to two parallel trees in my backyard and it started merging into the energy between them and disappearing. And I thought, am I losing my mind? So I
Wow.
turned my head the other way, because I thought maybe I'm just accidentally scrying and seeing things or something. And so I turned my head to, take the vision out. And then I turned back and looked back and
Hmm.
I could still see it. It was still see through. And now there was less of it sticking out. There was only like an inch of its body sticking out of the energy between the trees.
Oh my
And then it
word.
just merged the rest of the way in and disappeared. And it was gone.
Did your husband catch any of that?
No, he didn't see any of it.
Oh,
Nope.
okay. He turned on the light, but he was in the house.
He was
And
on the screen porch, yes. And I was
oh,
back in the woods and I was looking up
I
towards the
see.
house and the light, and the Bigfoot walked in between the light and
Oh,
so I could see it. That was definitely obvious. I mean, on purpose. It knew exactly what it was doing.
did you,
It wanted me to see that. And that's what really got me back into my psychic stuff because I
oh,
knew that
well,
was a psychic move, you know? And I was like, okay, yeah, you're psychic for sure.
yeah, kind of like, okay. This is yeah, definitely you got to get back into that. I'm surprised you weren't already more tapping into that more.
Yeah, well, that really just made me want to because I thought, okay, yeah, I want to be able to do that kind of stuff. And
Man.
and then I finally we told somebody a Bigfoot museum opened up in Georgia. And my husband and I went there and we opened up to the owners because we thought that's probably a safe place to do it, that we don't have to worry about the Bigfoot getting hurt. And we were showing them pictures of structures in our yard that the Bigfoot make. Bigfoot makes structures with branches and trees. And
Okay.
that's how I learned about them, from them doing it in our backyard. And
So you
and
didn't
that's
know they
what
did that.
no, that's what's behind me in the picture is a Bigfoot structure. Here, I've been down so you can see it. It looks like a big star asterisk.
Okay. Yeah, I
Okay.
can see it. Oh
So
my. So that's
so
in
we
your
started.
yard.
That one is not in my yard. That's
Oh,
somewhere else in a location nearby where I've also seen the Bigfoot. Now we
okay.
go other places to see them because they don't come here as often. They come just every now and then now.
Oh,
And
okay.
this is somewhere else where I have Bigfoot encounters at now. But we opened up to the museum owner and he made a phone call to a woman that was in the Bigfoot world. Before that, we weren't in any Bigfoot groups online or anything. And
Wow.
she put us in our first Bigfoot group. And that group just happened to do campouts here in the state I live in once a year.
Mm.
So I went there, and that's where I met Bob Gimlin, who made that famous video of the Patty that everybody talks about, and a whole bunch of other people, and they're all family to me now. And so then I had a group I could open up to and learn. And the first night of that camp out, we had a sighting, my husband and I did.
Man,
And
that's
yeah,
just so amazing.
yeah.
Uh,
Um, we went down a trail, and as soon as we got off the trail, he said, "Is that a bunch of Boy Scouts with flashlights?" Like I said, they make like flashlights come out of their own eyes.
mhm.
And it was weird because they were waving back and forth. And then all of a sudden, they just disappeared. And then all of a sudden, we could see two Bigfoot in front of us. One was on the ground and it had green eye shine coming out of its eyes. Beautiful, fluorescent, bright,
Wow.
bright green.
Ooh.
And we didn't have a flashlight or any light. So they were making the light themselves. And then there was one standing up about my height with white eye shine coming out. The first night we were there, and that's why they
Oh,
there was all the encounters. But so that's how I got into that. And then I found out some of my friends were psychic. A whole bunch of them were in the group. And then that's how I
mm,
got into psychic groups, is from them,
mm.
knowing them.
So now, so you're still interested in the Bigfoot, and you still do that, right? But
Yes,
you're,
I still do that.
and now, as far as the psychic things that you're involved in, what have you gotten involved in since
Well,
then?
this last year I took a year psychic development course from Lillian and
Okay.
Kate Rose Medium. Lillian was on your show last week.
Yes, yes.
And a shamanic course also from them. And then next
Okay.
year I'm signed up to do them both again. And then I've taken a bunch of other courses from them too, the goddess rites and all different ones. And before that, I was taking a shamanic course and psychic courses from another lady. And it totally got me back in it. So now I've been taking courses to learn all different things to do with my abilities.
And has this benefited your life these days?
Well, it's really helped me heal myself from past traumas and stuff. And
Mhm.
it's helped. I'm healing my bloodline. I know how to help others better. And it's helped me understand that how the paranormal works too better. And it helps me not be afraid of it too, because everything seems to have abilities. We do, all
Mhm.
kinds of other things do too,
Does
you
your
know?
husband join you with the psychic courses?
No, he doesn't, but he is psychic. He's an empath. So
Okay.
and he believes in it, and he's completely supportive of me doing it.
Yeah, it sounds like he's very supportive, which is
Yes.
wonderful. Um, well, any other, I mean, I still have questions about the Bigfoot, but were there other profound or interesting experiences you want to share? I wasn't sure if you also lucid dream or have out of body experiences, but if there were any other kind of strange or interesting experiences, please share.
Yeah, I do. I love astral projecting. I practice that because I would love to be able to get where I could just do it on the spot any moment. And
Mhm.
and I love scrying. Scrying is one of my most favorite psychic things to do.
Wait, what's
I
scrying? I don't know that.
so yeah, so on winter solstice, I scried to see my ancestors in the mirror. I light a candle and put it
Oh,
about 3 feet to the right of me, and I put on some spiritual music, and I stare at my third eye or my eyes, and set an intention, of course, so that you only what comes in, is what you want to come in. And so I set an intention that I wanted to see my ancestors. And I always put protection in the room and sage the room. And um I saw one after another, and it was so funny. The next morning I got up and it was really cold. And apparently my ancestors did come in that night because I was seeing one after another in the mirror. And my cat Sunny got out on the porch, and I had a drink in all in my hands. So I couldn't close and lock the door. And I went to sit my drink down in the bedroom, and then I saw Sunny at my feet. So I
mhm.
thought, oh, okay, I need to go back and close and lock the door. Sunny's in the house. And I went back and it was closed and locked. And I
Hmm.
knew that wasn't me that did it. So I just said thank you out loud. And I think it was one of my ancestors, since I'd worked with my ancestors the night before and seen them in the mirror. But I have astral projected accidentally scrying in the mirror because I was staring so intently at the mirror.
Yes.
I started astral projecting towards the mirror, and I saw myself go through the cabinets. I was sitting in front of my bathroom mirrors. I saw my spirit travel through the cabinets of the bathroom and closer to the mirror, right up against it. And I was like, what the heck? And that pulled me right back into my body.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's a pretty cool experience.
That time I was scrying to see my luminous energy field. It was one of
Oh,
our psychic things that we had to do in psychic class. We were scrying to see that, and that was cool. My
okay.
entire face disappeared, and I could see just my soul, my spirit.
Whoa,
Yeah.
how fun.
Mhm.
Okay, people are going to start wanting to take more of these psychic classes. But you
I know
now,
I'm not even trying. I'm just telling you cool things.
you obviously as had these kinds of gifts as a child. Do you think though that
Mhm.
anyone can be trained in these things?
I do. I think we all have all the same abilities.
Do.
It's just that, blockages we get in ourselves, not believing, things like that.
Yeah.
But I think we all can do everything.
And so your relationship, I'm just curious about like your relationships over time. Have they, like, is your family, your extended family, they're okay with all of this, or did this change your relationship in a negative way? Some of them.
Well, I wasn't ever telling my family about the Bigfoot because I didn't know they would believe me or ridicule me. They know now. I've spoken at a Bigfoot conference and I've been on a lot of podcasts, and so I don't hide anything anymore. I'm open with it. And
Good.
but my family hasn't given me a hard time about it. Nobody has, actually. And most of my friends are way open-minded. So
Oh, that's awesome.
mhm.
And I'm kind of curious when people start having these experiences, if it changes your understanding of death, because you said your dad was an atheist, maybe he still is, and um I wonder if his views have changed, but have your views changed about death and the afterlife?
My views have changed often, as the older I get, right? The more I learn and things I experience. Yes. I'm not at all afraid of death. And I just believe I will come back in a brand new, fresh body, and get to start over again. And I've had a couple experiences where I passed into the spirit world a little because I was
Mm.
dying, but I never had really a true NDE where people are completely dead.
Mhm.
I was just going there.
Really?
And yeah, like a couple years ago, I had a back surgery and my oxygen got too low,
Uh-huh.
and I was passing in and out of the spirit world, and the alarms went off on the thing and everything. And
Wow.
my cats astral projected to the hospital and were on my lap,
Oh,
and I could see them because I was going in and out of the spirit world.
yeah. Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
I know
So
I've heard of
that's
animals
cool.
projecting, but I haven't heard of them coming to you, during a surgery or something like that. That's really sweet.
They were sitting on my lap and I was stroking them and petting them. And my best friend and husband was there and they were seeing me do it. They didn't know what was going on. And then when I got home, I told them what was happening.
Wow. That's pretty fascinating. You've had so many amazing experiences. I mean, well, now you're meeting more and more people like you that have had experiences
Mhm.
like these.
Right. I do know a lot
Um,
of people now.
and I know we're running out of time, but I just don't want to leave anything unsaid. If there's anything else you want to share that's on your heart, or another story.
Oh, you asked me a question. I didn't completely answer you. You asked me if the Bigfoot were interdimensional or where they're from. I told you about
Yes,
my interdimensional story where I saw
yes,
them.
yes.
Now, where they're from, I don't know for sure exactly. I do
Okay,
know, though, that they've gotten their DNA and it dates back on this earth further than ours.
okay.
So
It's
they were
so interesting.
so they were on this earth before us.
Okay.
So that's something we have proof of. But um they very well could be from another planet just like us.
Yeah, I don't know how it works. I just have no clue, but I was just wondering if they said, oh, we're from planet such and
Uh-huh.
such, or we're from this density or this dimension. I didn't know if they maybe kind of,
They never told that to me. Now, however, they did talk to other people about that. I mostly talked to the Bigfoot about everyday things when they were in my yard.
mhm.
Now, I know there are other people that telepathically talk to him and communicate about that and say where they're from, but that's not my story with them.
Do
So
you, or or have you heard of why they do choose to appear? And, and hang out in some of these woodsy areas or other areas?
it is strange that it came to the middle of a subdivision and chose to hang out in our backyard. I have to admit. Um, so we have wondered and wondered. We wondered if it was the land. Do I live on a ley line? There is ley lines around here. I could live partly on a ley line because there's a bunch around here. Um, it could have been that it was their land before these, because we were the first person to buy the house. So
Mm,
maybe this was all their land before they built the subdivision, you
okay.
know? And now we also are up on a ridge, and I read that there was a 45-year Indian war here on these ridges, and they buried all the Indians on the ridges of these, and we live on one.
Mm,
So there's all kinds of stuff here that could cause it. It could be me. Maybe I attract beings. I don't
like a
know.
bright light.
Yeah, maybe the Bigfoot came into my life to get me back into what the psychic world, because now I do healing on people and I help others. So maybe that's why they came. I don't know, but that does
Yeah,
make you wonder.
it
Yeah.
does. So you're doing healings. Is there a way for people to connect with you, the listeners, to contact you?
Yes, I do. I like doing soul retrievals a lot. They
Oh,
can just send me a friend request on Facebook or message me, and just contact me right through here, or they can see me in the group and in your group and send me a friend request.
okay, okay. Wow, your audio just went narrow again into a little thing.
Sorry.
That's okay. I know we're out of time, but this has been so fascinating. I've loved this conversation, and I'm going to put your links up in the video description
Okay.
so that people can connect with you. And I just really appreciate you spending this time with me, Ginger. It's been so fun.
I'm so honored you asked me, and I'm sorry that the sound and all didn't work right for you.
That's okay. That's okay. Little glitches and things like that. Yeah, you're kind of like, hello, where are you? You're in a tunnel. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you to everyone for watching. This has been Julie McVey with Unordinary Made Ordinary. And I hope you'll join us next time for another fascinating interview. And if you enjoyed this interview, give it a thumbs up, of course. And then if you like this type of content, please subscribe. And I do hope you're having a fantastic day or evening, wherever you are on the planet or off the planet. And we will see you all next time. Bye, everyone.
Yay, bye.